What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Seeking Sister Wife, Season 5, Episode 11, Seeking a Connection. So I just got done doing a whole entire almost 30-minute video about this episode, and it did not record, so I have to start all over. So please forgive me if there's a lack of enthusiasm the second time around. So let's get started with the Davis family. So Jasmine and Nick, they go out on their very first date. Now, Jasmine is the young lady that is going to be the potential fourth wife for the Davis family. Now, the current three wives have already met her. They, I guess, had good vibes about her. And so now it's time for Nick to meet her for himself and for them to also spend a little bit of time together to get to know each other. So he's arranged this horse and carriage ride for them to have. And supposed to be like really romantic, but y'all, I saw like no romance between her and Nick. I saw no chemistry between her and Nick. None at all. None at all. I don't even think that the girl was feeling him the way he was feeling her. Now, Nick found her very attractive. He said, she's prettier than me, and that's a good thing. And even though he probably meant that as a joke, y'all, I think he was dead serious when he said that. When he said she's prettier than me, and that's a good thing. So she said that he was really easy on the eyes, which to me is low-key saying, he ain't all that. But he's not the ugliest thing that I've ever seen. So they start off their date by talking about religion. She talks about how her mom studied 8 religions and also bestowed that knowledge on her, but her family grew up pagan. And for whatever reason, this bothered Nick for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why. I don't know if she's like a hardcore practicing pagan, or if that's just how she was raised, but she's kind of like, doing whatever right now. But it kind of bothered Nick, and he says something like, I wish that Danielle, Jennifer, and April had told me that she was pagan. Like, what difference would that have made? But anyways, whatever. So they're on this horse and carriage ride. It's supposed to be romantic. Like I said, I saw no chemistry between them. And then at some point, Nick kissed her. Then the kiss was like so dry and so weird and awkward. I felt like she really wasn't ready for it, and she really wasn't feeling him to the point where she wanted to kiss him. So yeah, I'm like seeing no chemistry between Nick and Jasmine. So after the carriage ride, they go have dinner, and Nick talks about how it's really important for him to get to know a woman's mind first before they do anything physical. And I'm like, bullcrap. If Jasmine wanted to get down and dirty that night, I seriously doubt that Nick would have been like, oh, we can't have sex right now because I don't know your mind very well. I seriously doubt that. But I guess he's trying to let her know that I'm not trying to rush you into sex. Let's take it slow. Let's get to know each other, etc. So he asked her if she was willing to spend the weekend with them. And I thought she had said she really wasn't ready for that right now, that she needed more time. And so she respectfully declined for it being this weekend. And then after the date, Nick comes home, and the only one waiting up for him is Danielle. She says she couldn't sleep. So Nick tells us in his confessional, I wonder if she couldn't sleep because, she was really anxious about my date because, Danielle is the one that is really struggling with adding a fourth wife into the mix. And, maybe there's some signs of jealousy there that he's witnessed. And so he was wondering if she stayed up waiting for him because she was kind of worried about how the date went and how him and Jasmine connected. So he tells her about the date, and Danielle asked if they kissed, and he reluctantly told her that they did kiss. Now, he said that he reluctantly told her because he was worried about her feeling jealous about that. And so he was kind of worried how she would react, but she really didn't have a reaction to that. So Nick asked her, how did she feel about Jasmine spending the weekend with them? And I thought Danielle said initially that she felt like they needed to get to know her better before they introduce her, into their home and into their personal dynamic. I thought she said she wanted to wait, but then when he asked her again, how do you feel about her spending the weekend with us? The second time around, she was like, oh, it's okay. And so Danielle tells us that she just says things that other people want to hear because she learned her lesson. When you speak your mind, you're kind of like ostracized, and they all kind of gang up on you. And then, that made her run away the first time. So she wants to stay. She wants to stick around this time. So she's like, you know what? I just say whatever the hell they want me to say because I don't want them to treat me any differently. But they still kind of look at her, with a side eye because they still don't trust her fully that she's really okay with adding a fourth wife. So, I mean, if she's I feel like Danielle is struggling. Like I've always said, I think Danielle is the one that Nick probably gave the least amount of time to when she came into their family. And I think that she struggles with his time and his attention. And she feels like she's going to get even less of that when a fourth wife is introduced into the mix. Now, because she was struggling to go to sleep, he told her, if you're having a hard time going to sleep, let's go upstairs. Let me help put you to bed. And so they go upstairs together, and thank God that was the end of that. Moving on to Shane and Ashley. So as Shane and Ashley are doing their confessional, Ashley gets a call from Sarah, and Sarah wants to meet with them like right there and then. I don't know if this was staged or planned. I have no idea. But when Sarah showed up, she was already mic'd up. So Shane was, both Shane and Ashley were kind of like, what is this all about? Why did she want to meet with us? Right after she had told us the night before that she was ready to commit to us and she was ready to get this going. So she comes over, they go outside to talk to her, and she basically is breaking up with them. She tells them that it's moving too fast. They kind of were getting a little bit too clingy, or she felt like they were too attached to her and she wasn't ready to make that full commitment. And they're all confused because they're like, well, just last night you were telling us that you were ready to commit. So I guess she thought about it and she realized that this really isn't for her. I wonder what really turned her off. I really wish she would have said more on what made her change her mind. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense to us that she didn't say anything. And unfortunately, Seeking Sister Wife doesn't have a reunion. So we're not able to tie up any loose ends, get information that we weren't privy to during the regular season. We get none of that. So for whatever reason, the girl changed her mind. I'm thinking something about Shane turned her off. And unfortunately, Shane proved me wrong because Shane was the one that was always really suspicious of Sarah. He felt like her intentions were not right. He felt like she really wasn't serious about being in a plural family because she had never been in one before. And when she dealt with couples before, it was purely for, I guess, sexual reasons. And she really has not been in a dynamic where it's an actual family. So he always had his doubts about Sarah. I was rooting for Sarah, actually. I thought her and Ashley got along great. I thought that her and Shane were showing signs of possibly getting along. She didn't act outwardly creeped out by Shane. She was trying to be nice to him and include him in her dynamic with Ashley. So I thought this was a good match, but Shane proved me wrong, and he was right about her being kind of flighty and wishy-washy and not really ready to commit to this process. So later on, we see that their baby was born, and I was like, thank God, because this girl, Ashley, has been pregnant forever. I really thought that Danielle and Garrett would have had their baby before Ashley and Shane had theirs. So her son was finally born, and Shane's cancer screening came back and it showed no signs of cancer. So thank God for that. They are still going strong as a couple, and Ashley says that she still wants to explore her bisexual side. And so they are still seeking a sister wife. Good for them, I guess. Moving on to Becky and Justin. So last week we saw that Justin had a date with a potential sister wife by the name of Yara. And at first, when Yara and Justin had matched, I don't know how she had missed this, but I guess when they had matched initially, or when they first met, I'm not really sure exactly when, Yara had no idea that this was a plural family type of situation and that Justin was looking for a second wife. She had no idea. So at some point, either on their first date or shortly before their first date, he explained to her, I'm a polygamist, I'm looking for a second wife. So at first she was kind of turned off by this because it's something that she's not used to, but she decided to go ahead and, go through with the whole process. So they have their date. Their date was okay. Justin is awkward, and he doesn't have no game. He is not smooth at all. The only woman he's ever been with, it seems like, is Becky and their potential sister wife, Stephanie. And, so he probably, I don't know what's going on with Justin, but his date with Yara was, or was it Yari? His date with Yari was just really awkward. Yari was kind of hesitant about the whole plural family thing or the whole polygamy thing, but she really liked Justin, so she wanted to continue to see Justin. So now it's time for Becky to meet Yari. And when we see Becky, she's at home. She's trying on different outfits. We're trying to pick out an outfit. And she's having her sister-in-law and her daughter help her out. So Becky says that she's kind of behind the 8 ball because normally she would be the one to first meet the woman and then she'll introduce them to Justin. In this situation, they did it the other way around where Justin, met Yari first and now she's going to meet Yari. So they're at the restaurant, and when Becky meets Yari, she says that, she is Justin's type. She is right up Justin's alley. She's Latin. She looks like she works out. She's really into fitness. And so she can see why Justin really likes her. So they start off their conversation, and the conversation is awkward as hell. The whole entire dinner was awkward as hell. Yari didn't really talk much. Yari did not talk much. Justin was mute. Okay, he was completely mute. I don't think he said one word. If he did, I don't remember what he said. He y'all, he might as well not even have been there. So, Becky is trying to be her usual overly enthusiastic captain of the cheerleader type self, Susie Sunshine, and her personality and Yari's personality is not vibing at all. Yari, it seems more mature, more reserved. Becky is like teeny bopper, teenage, bouncing up and down, Susie Sunshine kind of personality. No, this is not going to be a good match. I mean, Justin and Yari might have something going on, but Yari and Becky, I don't see it. They're like night and day. So she's asking about, so she asks Yari, so what do you like to do for fun? Yari is like, go to the gym. And then it was like crickets. Justin said nothing else was said after that. Becky then asked, how was your first date? They talked about that. Then Becky asked if they shared a kiss. And the way she did it, I was just like, girl, what are you doing? She was like, did y'all have a kiss? And it's like, girl, tone it down just a bit. I mean, she's like she's like a kindergarten teacher teaching a bunch of kindergartners or something. So Yari was like, yeah, we had a kiss. And then she looked at Justin and she was like, did you tell her about our kiss? And Justin was like, hey, she asked. So then Yari asked, Justin tells us in his confessional that he wished Becky did not mention the kiss at all because it was uncomfortable and it was awkward. And, I guess Justin wanted to have something where he can share with Yari just between him and Yari. Becky asked Yari if she could see herself living this lifestyle. Yari was like, I'm not really sure, but this is better than when you have a situation where one spouse is cheating on the other. And Becky was like, oh my God, girl, yes, because everything's out in the open. We all get to know each other and it's great. And then Becky tells us in her confessional that she thinks that the date went really well, that she got really good vibes from Yari and thinks that Yari is going to be a really good fit for the family. And I'm like, what Yari are you referring to? Because the Yari that I saw was hella uncomfortable. She barely talked. The conversation was not flowing at all. She wasn't asking any questions about the lifestyle, which told me she wasn't interested in living this kind of lifestyle. I don't think we're going to see Yari ever again. Unfortunately, I felt like Yari and Justin may have had a connection. But after Yari met Becky, no way. No way. Absolutely not. Becky says that she wants to spend more time with Yari to figure out if she's actually going to be a good fit for them. No, she's not. She's not. Because, Becky, you're a little bit too much. Now, yeah, it's not going to work. Like I said, maybe Justin and Yari could have had a chance. But Miss Susie Sunshine over there really dampened any kind of chemistry that they possibly had going on. Moving on to Nyla and Naim. So now they're back at home after that horrible dinner where Nyla and her mother-in-law nearly came to blows. So they're back at home now, and what really triggered Nyla at the dinner or at the lunch was when her mother-in-law brought up her daughter and used her daughter as an argument against polygamy because she was just using the child just to use her. Nyla, like I said in the previous review, which we all saw, what bothered Nyla and Naim was that the mother-in-law has no relationship with her granddaughter. So why bring her up? Why use her as a counterpoint to polygamy when you don't even know the child? Nyla says she doesn't even know how to pronounce pronounce the child's name, have no relationship, got nothing to do with her grandkid, but is going to use her to argue against their lifestyle. So the friend Joe is still with them at the house, and the friend tells us that there was fault on both sides. She felt like Nyla was being disrespectful to her mother-in-law, and she felt like the mother-in-law was, crazy for wanting to fight her daughter-in-law in a restaurant. So Naim says so then the friend asked them, why do y'all keep, if you know that your mother does not like this lifestyle, why do y'all keep shoving it in her face, having her meet your potentials and all this other stuff? And they tell her, well, we don't want to blindside her. Okay. We want her to know what we're doing. We don't want to show up for Thanksgiving dinner with our second wife and she had no idea this was going on. So we're trying to kind of like ease her into it, kind of make her aware of what we're doing so that she's not completely blindsided by it. Y'all, I guess, because with a mother-in-law like that, who is so against what they're doing, even if, they try to warm her up to polygamy, or they try to talk about it with her, or they try to introduce her to a potential sister wife or a sister wife, whatever the situation, she's not going to like it. She's not going to like it. She's not open-minded. She's not trying to be like, hey, that's their life. I ain't got nothing to do with it, but I'm going to be cordial with them. She's not trying to do that at all. I don't see them bringing a sister wife to Thanksgiving dinner to Naim's mother's house and her allowing the sister wife to step 1 foot into her home. I don't see that happening. Okay, because even when she thought that the friend Joe was the potential sister wife, this was just a lunch. She was ready to get up and go home until they explained to her, no, she's not like a potential wife for us. She already has her own couple. So even if they found a sister wife, the mom is not going to accept her. So they're not bringing her to no damn Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner. They're not bringing her over for a damn snack. None of that's going to be happening. The mom is probably going to cut them all off altogether if they get to the point where they are actually, moving in another woman into their home, and her son is going to have 2 wives. She's probably going to stop talking to them altogether. So I don't even know what the hell they're doing, because this woman right here, she is dead set against it. She's not trying to learn nothing. She's not trying to I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But if that's what y'all want to do, go ahead. I still love y'all and we're still family. That's not the kind of vibe that she is on at all. She's like, if y'all do this, y'all are dead to me. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.